All right, so jumping into arguably probably the most popular Dave Matthews Band song that they've ever had. This was probably one of the first songs I think I ever heard by them back in '94, and we'll throw in a little the little kind of fun intro to this song that he used to do live. I haven't heard him do it much lately, and yeah, so we'll jump right into Ants Marching. Fun, really fun song to play. It's one that everybody knows, when you play it. So, so if you listen to a lot of different versions, specifically from the '90s, like the Red Rocks version from 1995, he does it's just that little run down the D string, and we're just going 12, 10, 9, 7, 5, 3, off. And then that little kind of chord he's playing right there is going to be on the 3rd fret A string, and then we're going to be on the 3rd fret G string, and then we'll have our forefinger right here on the D string on the 2nd fret. And you're just strumming those three. You don't want to hear any other strings in that song. It's just those three right there. And then he does a little part. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. And it's just. And dun, dun, dun. So all that is right there is you're going to be on the E string, 8th fret, and then we'll be on the 9th fret G string, and then we'll be here on the D string on the 10th fret, just sliding up. And that's after we go through that little. Okay, and you can listen to those versions of it. That was just something a little extra that I was kind of throwing in there for the fun of it. And okay, so jumping right into it, we're just going to be alternating between a D and a G. Okay, so after that, after we strum the D, I want you to make sure you got to hit the open D string when you're strumming that chord. Okay, so we're gonna hit that, and you're gonna mute after that. I'll go into that in just a second. But we're gonna come up here with our middle finger on the 4th, sliding to the 5th on the A string. And then you're putting your forefinger down there on the D string on the 4th fret. So. And then that's going to be an open D string. And make sure when you're hitting that G chord that you're strumming all 6 strings, okay? You want it to sound really full. Okay, and then you can do this a couple of different ways. I'm going to show you the way that I do it. I flatten out the A and the D string here on the 4th fret, and I hammer on. Okay, so I'm just hammering on and flattening out the A and the D string on the 5th as well. Hammering on to that A string, and then sliding up to 7. Back to that D chord. All right, and so like I said, there's a mute after you hit the D chord and after you hit the G chord. It's and so on that you can go up, down. You can hit it once. Just make sure you're muting it. All right, so. So that is that's going to be all the way throughout the verse right there. It's just alternating between those two things. So don't forget that slide up to 7 before you go back to that D. Okay, now something I want to cover here on the chorus is, take these chances, place them in a box until a quieter time. So he goes through this 3 times, from a B And we're only on the A, D, and the G strings here, though. Your middle finger's not going to be on that B string, okay? So D, we're going to be on a G shape right here, but it's only on the E and the D string, or E and the A string, right here on the third and the second. And back to that B, and then an A, okay? So now I want you to pay attention to the strumming pattern here. This is something that's very subtle in this song, so it's hard to catch, but we're gonna go from, I want you to listen to the strumming and listen to when these chords are switching, okay? I'm gonna play it twice. The first one's gonna be different than the second one, so pay attention, okay? Okay? He goes through that 3 times. He plays it with this, the first 2 times he plays it through, he goes. And then the last time he goes through, he goes. Okay, now I want you to just pay attention. Keep replaying that and playing that along on this video, because I want you to catch that. That's when it's lights down, you up and die. All right? Hopefully that all made sense to you. But anyways, we'll move on to the little stop time jam in the middle where Boyd has his violin solo. We're just alternating between D and G, okay? 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, then it just goes straight into that. So you're going from that G. You'll hear on the last time that they go through that stop timing, he starts. So when we're going into that chord right there, we're gonna be, so we'll go from that G, and then we'll keep your finger on the E and the A string up here on the 3rd and the 2nd fret. We're gonna have our pinky down here on the 4th fret G string, okay? Then we're gonna bring our keep your pinky's gonna stay here throughout this whole section. So you strum that, and then we're gonna bring our forefinger up to the 2nd fret E string, and then you're gonna bring it down back down to the 2nd fret on the A string, okay? So pay attention to that strumming right there. The pattern's a little bit where he switches it up. It's just a little bit different. You'll go through that 4 times, and then on the final time, we're going to come up here to this chord right here. We're going to be on the E string, 5th fret, A string, 3rd fret, and then we will put our pinky down here on the G string, 5th fret, and then we're going back to that chord that we just came from, that we just started that last little section with, on the 3rd, 2nd, and the 4th down here on the G string, okay? And that's all you're doing. You're only hitting those. And then we're going back to that again, okay, from the chorus. So I'll go through all that with you again. And then it goes to the end of the song right there. So pretty simple and straightforward right there. Like I said, you're going from there. You just need to remember you're going from here to that D, and then back to that B. And it's just the same thing we did right there in the chorus of that song. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. If you want to mess around with some of the more recent live versions, whenever they do the stop timing, you know, they do a lot of different variations that sound pretty cool. I think, you know, in the mid '90s, he got into doing a lot of really high up here on the neck. And doing just a lot of kind of toying around with stuff down there. And then, you know, lately, the past few times that I've seen them over the past few years, they draw that little jam section out forever. And, you know, it's a lot of... I mean, just a bunch of different things. So you can kind of play around with that. It's kind of fun to mess around with those, kind of get different variations of that song, because there's a lot of them out there. So anyways, that's Ants Marching for you. Hopefully this helped you out a little bit. Hope it was enjoyable. And if you haven't subscribed, love for you to subscribe. And yeah, thanks.